Welcome to Triple F, bringing life to your faith, family, and finance.
Hello, and welcome everyone. My name is Danny. I have the honor and privilege of hosting How to Strengthen Your Faith here at Triple F. I have a special guest speaker. You guys are going to love him. One of my close friends that I admire and look up to, that has blessed us with his time and his wisdom here today. Before we introduce him, I want to read to you our mission statement here at Triple F. Our mission is to equip people in the areas of faith, family, and finance. It is our desire to add value to people's lives, helping them reinforce their faith, build stronger relationship with their family, and to help people elevate their finances as well, especially in times such as today. And Triple F family, we have a very special guest speaker that I'm going to get to next. Before that, we want you to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button and get our free ebook. We have put together segments of our show where people have shared their wisdom for free, and we're giving it to you for free. And so visit DannyCouture.com. Make sure you fill out the email address and download to that. Also subscribe to our Instagram and Facebook page so we can continue to give this content and this wisdom and pass it on the internet so that we can share it with the world. So excited for you all. I have the honor and privilege of introducing our special guest speaker. He's by himself here today without his queen. But I've known Pastor Sean for a very long time. Well, I met him through my spiritual father, Ellie. We started working out together physically at the gym. And then now we're working out spiritually together every Friday morning in Hawaii Ecclesia. But just been like a big brother, always just so loving, so kind, and just somebody you want to be around. You know, they say you become the 5 people you hang around the most with. And I've always enjoyed my time hanging around Big Sean. So with that, I am going to pass it over to him so that he can formally introduce himself and his lovely wife and his family as well. Sean, welcome to the show. We'll pass it over.
Hey, thank you, Danny. Aloha to all of you and to the people that are putting this on. I really appreciate and just am so honored to be invited to just share a little bit of my history and my mana'o, my background, and just some stuff that I may have. But yeah, just a real quick story. I think I've known Danny probably for over 10, 12 years. We used to go work out at 24 Hour Fitness Kaneohe at like 5 a.m. in the morning with Ellie, him, and me. And we called ourselves the 3+ crew, 300+ crew, 300-pound plus crew. And we were doing beach body. And people used to trip out on us that 3 guys of our size could move that well. and we would do that Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So yeah, I got to get to know Danny back then. And I'm just so blessed to be his friend and just meet his family and be a part of this family now. So yeah, my name is Sean Nakamoto. I am first of all, a son of God. I'm also I work down at Matson. I'm a manager in one of the departments down there. And then in my free time, I'm also a co-pastor of a church with my wife Hitomi called Life Spring Honolulu. And we've been co-pastoring and took over that church in September 2020 during COVID, which was just an unusual time, taking over a church with the 4 walls of the churches being shut down and stepping into that leadership role. And that's a church, but I think my ecclesia, my place where I fellowship the most is in the marketplace. I was called down to be a part of the Matson Ohana. I'll make 10 years this October, and I've been 5 years in the role that I am now as a full-time member of that team. And every day I get to fellowship and bring aloha to a place of a work environment that contributes so much to the society. So yeah, that's my day job, night job, whatever you want to call it. But that's my passion, is to just show aloha to people, and that aloha ends up showing them the love of God and just the blessing of what when we put our faith in one God, the true God, we become to just get to know each other and love each other and aloha each other. Yeah,
Amen.
that's who I am.
Amen. Awesome, Sean. Awesome. Hey, I know everywhere you go, there's light that comes with you, and I know that you are being used mightily at Matson, and then also in at your ministry as well. But I know what was life prior to finding God? Like, share with our Triple F family. Uh,
Yeah. In a nutshell, I was thinking about this earlier today when that question was asked. This November will be 20 years that I've been walking with the Lord. And I'll be very frank, walking with the Lord hasn't always been easy. It's been a lot of bumps, a lot of stuff that my stubbornness, my hard-headedness have caused. But before Jesus found me, because it's funny, right? I had a friend, I told him one time, "Oh, I found Jesus." And he goes, "Well, was Jesus lost?" And I was like, "Oh, actually, yeah, I guess Jesus found me again, right? He found that one lost coin." So before I entered into relationship with him, I was self-dependent, I was self-reliant, I was an executive for a local development company. I had all the toys and joys. I had money in the bank, I had two houses, I had a couple cars, I had authority, I had power, I had things is of this world, which isn't bad. But I also was living for myself and was very selfish and was very driven to be the successful top dog in this business world of Hawaii. And I think that just led me to just being a very selfish and um, just a self-reliant person. And it was funny because I look back, I've always been this jovial, aloha, you're my friend, I'm your friend kind of person. But I think I had an agenda back then was I'm going to use you and be friends with you to get where I want to be. And if I don't need you anymore, then I'll just drop you at the door.
mm,
And so what happened back then was when Jesus entered my life, I was going through a bunch of just rough issues. My mom was going through cancer, and she passed away suddenly thereafter. And then my current wife at that time was going to divorce me, and I had a 13-year-old daughter, and she didn't like me, and I had nowhere to turn, and all there was Jesus. And so I think before I just was all about myself, and then I had to learn how to walk in relationship with God, and it wasn't just about me and God, which is great, right? We all want to love God and be with God, but it's also about loving the people around you, whether you like them or not, and having respect and aloha for them. That's that loving God and loving people part, and that's where I think all of us, including me, I'm the worst person of it. Is I can love God with all my heart, soul, and mind, but I've also been called to love people around me, and that's caused me to grow, that's caused me to stretch. And I look back to before entering into my faith life with God, it was all about me and what I could get out of people. And now it's all about how do I help people to grow, how do I help people to enter into their own relationship with their maker, how to help people so that we can walk, whether it's in work on the docks or whether it's in church or whether it's just at the beach or at the parks. How do we operate with each other and live out that aloha that I keep talking about every single day? So that's kind of what it was before. It was all about me, and after that, it really is about how do I help other people live out whatever God called them to be and to do.
amen. Amen. Well, it's almost like a fictional story, listening to it because that's not how I experience you today. And so, man, definitely kudos to you for doing the work and just abiding and out of obedience and seeking the Lord because
Mhm.
you are definitely a different man today, Brother Sean. So, what you share with the Triple F family, like what are some of the defining moments? I know you touch on it a little bit. What really caused you to pivot and shift? I know, as you alluded to earlier about your relationship with your ex wife that has passed, 13-year-old daughter. Were there any other things you that that was a defining moment for you?
It's pretty cool when we talk about defining moments in our life. I think, like in life, right, you have these mountaintop moments and then valley moments, right? So
Mm,
when I first got saved, that moment was because I was so broken that I believe God had to just dump a whole bunch of rocks on my head. And then when you first get saved, I think you're trying to operate from what you can do to earn the favor of God, right? When you first get saved, you're thinking, okay, how do I not be a bad person? How do I stop behaving the way I behave? And I think initially when we're taught about our faith in some circles, it's about what not to do, or how do you stop sinning? How do you stop drinking? How do you stop swearing? How do you stop lusting? It's all these how do you stop things, and you kind of walk through that for a season, and that's where I think I was in my initial youth phases, right? We used to lead a men's ministry where we would try to rally men to be better husbands, better fathers, better sons of God, and we give them all these tasks, and it was good. Guys were growing, but we also made them do more work. I think we, typical men, right? If we're not working, we feel like we're failing. So we were making guys do work, and so I think that's trying to earn our way into the kingdom of heaven, or trying to earn our way into the favor of God. And God doesn't work that way, right? God gives us favor regardless of what we do or don't do. It's what He did for us, and so I think that was the first mountain pivot that happened. But I think the second biggest pivot happened was in 2012, which is 10 years ago. I got diagnosed with some health issues, and my wife Lori at that time got diagnosed with cancer, and then we went on this 3.5-year journey of battling that cancer, and then she passed away in 2015. And in the meantime, at that time, we planted a church out of New Hope, Sand Island, into New Hope, Aloha, and I was associate pastor. And you got my was me, Lori, my deceased wife, my daughter Brandy, just trying to figure out what's going to happen when she passes away. Like we're all praying for her healing, we're all praying for her restoration and health, but God had different plans, and that just her passing away was just another valley that God was preparing for a mountaintop. And at that time, my daughter being just broken, losing her mom. And then, when I got saved in 2002, my mom passed away. So within a matter of 10 years, I lost my mom at the age of 56. And Lori passed away at the age of 49 or 48 or whatever it was. And so this great loss could have affected how I function and how I operate. And instead, I just said, okay, God, I know you didn't create me for this, to be in a place of sorrow and loss. What now, Lord? like seriously, like having those David and Sean conversations, like, okay, Lord, now what? Right? You've asked me to do these things, and I've right again, right? I've served you faithfully. I've done this for you, Lord. And what I got from God was, you didn't have to do any of that. You're my son of God. I've given you these opportunities and these moments to talk about your faith, to show your faith, right? And then within 2 years after that tragedy, actually it's funny, right? It's a tragedy of losing somebody, but heaven gained an angel, and that angel, along with the thousands warring angels, are praying for us that are still here. I got blessed with a second living angel in my current wife. She told me, who has a son, and we got married in 18, and I was on sabbatical from being an associate pastor, and we were asked by her church that she was born into 23 years ago to take over the church. And I'm like, heck no, I don't want to be a senior pastor. I don't want to lead a church. I've seen a bunch of my friends just not being able to handle life and be a senior pastor. And on top of that, I'm still in the marketplace, right? I'm not leaving. I enjoy what I do, and I enjoy dealing with people. I don't think it's called me out of the marketplace yet, right? So that's another mountaintop moment where God's showing that it's not about what I can do, it's about what He's going to do. If I can open up my heart and my eyes and my mind to Him, and not just do it my way, right? Just ask for guidance, ask for wisdom, and seek those mountaintop and valley moments, and then let God walk you through them instead of me trying to walk through it.
Wow.
So those are kind of a couple of defining moments in my life, right? And I know God's got a lot more, but it's amazing just the peace that I have now when I'm not trying to perform for anybody. I'm not trying to outwork anybody. I'm not trying to outperform anybody. It's okay, Lord. What do you want me to do? And I'm going to do it the best that I can. So
That's so pearls and gems, man. Thanks for being open and just sharing your heart. I know it's going to be a blessing for someone. Pastor Sean, we'll put you in the hot seat. So, what are some practical ways that someone can take action right now to strengthen their faith? Some of the things that not only you're doing, but that you have taught or applied in your life.
I've been talking. Actually, I've been living this probably for the last ever since I've been born. I didn't really know it, but we use that word aloha, right? I think Danny, you talk about it a lot, and I'm stealing this from Pastor Alan Cardenas, but to live aloha, to choose aloha, to be aloha, right? And if you guys don't know, in the state of Hawaii, aloha is the law. Like we're supposed to live aloha, right? And that aloha is more than just a word of love. It's more than just goodbye or love. It's about, there's an acronym that they've spelled out where aloha, the letters A stands for akahai, which is kindness. If we want to live a life of aloha, we have to learn how to live and to be kind, right? And then the L is lokahi, and that's unity. Like, how do we live in unity even in the midst of decisiveness and chaos, right? Right now we live in a time where the enemy is winning, I believe, because he's causing disunity, whether it's Republican, Democrat, right? Whether it's marriage or gay marriage, whether it's vax or anti-vax. The enemy's job is to cause disunity, and we as followers of Christ have to live in unity. Whether you agree or disagree with the person, how do you live in unity with them, right? And so that's the L, that's the lokahi. And then O is olu olu, right? That's the agreement. Like, okay, you and I may disagree, we may not agree, but I'm going to agree to honor you and respect you even if you disagree with me, right? That's the olu olu of how do we live in agreement with each other, right? And then H is the one that I think I struggle with the most, right? It's ha ha ha, which is humility. And it's not about being humble. It's not about eating humble pie, because I think local style we're like, oh no, I'm not good enough, or no, I'm not that person. Humility is knowing who we are in the eyes of God. Humility is knowing that in the eyes of God, yes, we're not perfect, but He's created us to be His sons and daughter, right? And then the last one is ahonui, and that's patience. I think all of us struggle with being patient in life, right? So I think to increase your faith, you really gotta press into what you believe in and live out that aloha, right? To be kind, to be in unity, to be just to be in agreement even when you disagree, and then to have that humility to know who you are. It's about identity, and then just having that patience to work through it with people, So one thing I can encourage you guys to do that.
So it's so awesome, Pastor Sean. That's so awesome. So the next question is any special project you're working on or your church is working on in the community that people could plug into?
I think one of the focus of what we've been doing at LifeSpring since we took over was really this concept of ecclesia. That the ecclesia isn't the four walls of the church; it's wherever your sphere of influence is, right? So I've been really praying through and talking about we can all come to church on Sunday, and I get it. We need to gather as an assembly in community to have community with each other, especially during COVID. So we are meeting twice a month now. But my job on Sunday isn't to fix you, isn't to tell you what to do right or wrong. My job is to empower you with the resources of God, and that's the resources of God is more important than me, right? The resources of God is His Word, His action, and then you go be the church to somebody, right? You go be the person that I used to joke like, oh, hey, Pastor Sean, you can pray for so and so. Like, well, why don't you pray? God hears your prayer as much as He hears mine. I'm not a special person, right? So I think for us as a church, we've been really, and we're a small church, right? We're 35, 40 people, very small community. But he told me now, I've been really pressing into how do we make us the ecclesia that is not about Sundays. As much as we need to meet on Sundays, and we do, how do we be the ecclesia to someone else, whether you're a teacher, whether you're an accountant, whether you're in real estate, whether you're a city worker, how do you be the ecclesia to somebody out there? Right? And that's from a church standpoint, from a ministry standpoint. And then down at work, because of my new role, I'm trying to bring aloha into, I have a team that I oversee, and I'm trying to show them that they're valued and that they have a voice. And yes, I have to lead them, but my job is to show them hey, let's be a team. Let's get in the same canoe and let's paddle together and let's live out aloha together. So we can, you might not like your job, but your job is supporting you and your family. And I when I realized that what I do, right, Matson brings in, well, the shipping industry brings in 90% of the product to Hawaii. Toilet paper, spam, rice, corned beef, right? Cars, right? But of the 90%, Matson brings in 60% of that. So what I do at work is important. I bring economic community. So if I don't do my job well and the ships don't get in and out along with everybody else in the company, then we're not getting the toilet paper and the spam and everything else, right? So if the guys that are working there that I work directly with aren't doing their best job, right? Regardless of if we have all problems outside of out of work. But if you can come to work and work with aloha and get along, you disagree with each other, have some kindness for each other, then we can all work in a way that's just so team driven versus, I want to do it for myself. Yeah, we can't do it for yourself. It's got to be a team. So those are the kind of special things that we're doing now within the ministry, and then within my side at Matson. And I hope that, I can only reach 10, 15 people, but if those 15 people all reach 15, 25 people and those reach 25, I mean, you're talking about multiplication of how we can live aloha and get to know Jesus in our own way. I think that way works faster than trying to fix and teach everybody something on my own.
Amen. Man, I just want to say this is such a pearl of wisdom. I'm going to go back and review this video. So much wisdom flowing, Pastor Sean. So any last thoughts for our Triple F family, somebody who's listening out there, wanting to increase their faith? Any last word that you want to share, Pastor Sean, before we close out?
You know what's cool, man? I like the acronym, right? The FFF, right? Faith, family, and finances. And I think that's the order that we always got to put things in. I mean, I think they're all equal, but I think if you do it in that order, where if you work on your faith, and the way you work on your faith, the best way to work on your faith is to step out in faith. I mean, the only way you can increase your faith is to actually step out, right? Okay, the way you do that, hey, God, what do you want me to do today? Right? I mean, that might sound simple, right? God might tell you, oh, go clean your house or go walk your dog or go do this. The way we increase our faith is to actually step out in faith, right? And we all have this inner voice about what we want to do, but there's this bigger voice of what God desires you to do. And some of us hear it differently, but that faith part, if you increase, the only way you can increase your faith is to step out in whatever God's put in front of you. And it might not be easy, and it might be scary, and it might be hard, but trusting in that faith and increasing that faith one step at a time, is where God's going to take you. And then, with your family, I mean, it is about the family, right? I learned that, I think back in the day when I was in the executive, I was thinking, well, I provide for my family. That should be good enough. Like, 'cause that's what we learn, right, from our parents and grandparents. The men need to go out and provide and worry about the family. The mom takes care of it. No, it doesn't work that way. I think as a man, as a father, our kids need us around. And if we put our family first in everything, right, and making that schedule, making the time for them, then the finance part will come and do, it's like an order, right? If you take care of your faith, take care of your family, God will provide for the finances. Yeah, you're going to have to put in the work, but you put in the work in two of the three stones, and then that third stone, that third gem, that finance will come in God's will, right? So I think the finance part, we all need that mechanism to do ministry. We all need that mechanism to support our family, but it has to be in that order. It just can't be finance first and everything else after it, because I've been there. It doesn't work that way, right? In my previous environment, I mean, God has stripped me of material stuff twice, right? And what part of my story that you guys didn't hear was I was a real estate developer with 6 other partners for 5 years, and we had everything, and then the world economy took it away, and that's fine. We're okay with that, but I didn't need those finances to be where I'm at today, right? God provided, multiplied it even more. So I think it's taking care of that faith first, family, finances, right? They're all important and they're all equal to each other, and you got to put it in order like that. So I really appreciate what you created with this, Danny. That's a good model and role to follow when we do it that way,
Well, thank you so much, Pastor Sean. I thank you for not only your wisdom, but your heart, just sharing it openly with everyone. So giving, so loving, and you are living the spirit of aloha. And so continue to keep being a light, big brother. It makes a difference in my life. I know you have directly and indirectly affected my life in so many ways, and not still today. I mean, I don't have to be around you or be around Ellie or Pastor Allen, Pastor Cal, but knowing that I'm connected, I ask myself, what would Sean do? How would he show up? What would Pastor Cal do? Right? What would Pastor Allen? What would Pastor Ellie? It's so good to have wisdom like that be around you. So thanks for being a light, big brother, and always. And look forward to catching up and doing lunch, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it, man. I love you. And aloha, God, aloha, people. And just thank you, Danny. I really am honored and blessed to be a part of this. And I just pray a blessing over you guys' ministry and what you guys are doing.
Thank you so much. Triple F family, that is it. Make sure you smash the subscribe button here with our Triple F on IG, and then also on YouTube. You can get this video directly on there, and then go to our DannyCouture.com and download the free subscription that we have put together, ebooks for you of practical ways on how to enhance your finances, your faith, your family, and your finances. Excited for our next show, and we'll catch you on the next Triple F show. Take care, God bless, and aloha.